Okay, so this is a quick video about how to produce a WordPress blog, or CMS if you prefer. It's really much more than a blogging platform these days, on a local server. You should really do all your grunt work, well really all the work on your website offline, not on the production site. A server that is not the production server is generally known as a staging server, and there can be more than one staging server, but typically you'd have a staging server on your local host, and then you would push to your production server when you had tested it out thoroughly on your local host. I'll cover how to push the local host to the production site on your web hosting company like Bluehost or GoDaddy or whoever you use in a different video. Okay, so first you need to download XAMPP or XAMPP if you prefer. I'll see if I can edit in the URL through YouTube afterwards, but if I don't, just Google XAMPP, X-A-M-P-P, download, and you should find it easily enough. I've got a Windows 7 machine here. There's a lot of different options there. XAMPP for Linux or Linux or Apple or whoever you're using. Sadly there's no 64-bit Windows, so I'll use the 32-bit one. So I've already downloaded that, but you'll need to click the link there, or whichever platform you're using there. So once you've downloaded it, you will need to run it. So I prefer to use straight off the C drive. I prefer to use C drive, create a folder XAMPP and put my sites in there. I've called this one example, so I'll go to there and then I'll find the download and run it. There's XAMPP installer. We'll run that. Do you want to run it? Yes. Bitnami. Okay, so antivirus, not a problem. Welcome to XAMPP. Next. So we need MySQL. We don't need that. FileZilla, Mercury, Tomcat. We don't need Perl. We need PHP. We don't need Webalize. We don't need SendMail. Right. Next. So select a folder. So I called this one example. So I'll add example on the end. Next. Okay, I don't want to learn more about that. I'll tell you why later. Okay, setup is now ready. Next, run. Okay, that will do its thing. So in the interim, I would download WordPress directly from WordPress if I was you. Problem with this is it's trying to steer you towards Bitnami's installation, which I find a bit annoying. It does have some things a bit weird with the directory structure. You can't seem to get it away from being, you know, your site slash WordPress slash whatever. I don't really want WordPress in there. I think it hurts you on your SEO for your keyword density and your URL. But anyway, it's probably best to do things properly and download it directly from WordPress. So go to WordPress's site, wordpress.org/download, and download WordPress, whatever the latest one is. At the moment it's 381 there. And it's only, well, I downloaded the tarball, so it's 5.6 meg. Okay, so XAMPP finished installing there. Do you want to start the control panel now? Yes, finish. Okay, and there's the control panel. You might get a couple of firewall exceptions come up. Just allow it for Apache and MySQL, and you'll be good to go. So let's start Apache. Oh, here it is. Windows firewalls block some of the features. Right, so allow access there. This only happens the first time you run it. And MySQL will start that, and we'll allow access there. So Apache is your web server. MySQL is your database. So let's see what we've got on localhost now that we're running Apache. Localhost. There we go. So now we've got a web page that's being served. And we'll select English there, and then we go to the default index.php, and we'll need to create a database first. WordPress is a CMS, a content management system, so like Drupal or Joomla or Magento or just about any CMS, it needs to pull content from a database, and the databases are managed by phpMyAdmin. So we'll go here and create a database for it. So we'll just create a new database here, and we'll call it example. Create Database example has been created. Now that will be the one that we'll use for the site. So what the fuck? Okay, so now we've installed XAMPP into the C drive/XAMPP/example. Let's have a quick look at the directory structure here. We have all these folders here. The only one that really matters at the minute is this htdocs. That's where anything that gets served to the web resides. So we'll need to know that. And then if we come down here, XAMPP-control.exe, that executable file there is what you'll run to start the web server every time. Because we just installed it, it said, do you want to run the control panel when you've finished? We clicked yes, which effectively ran that XAMPP-control.exe. So next time when we want to come to start the web server and the PHP myadmin, we'll need to run that file there. We'll double click that file there, but we didn't this time. Okay, so htdocs has got everything in it that that XAMPP uses. So we need to extract our WordPress folder into that file. So let's go to there where we downloaded it. WordPress 3.8.1.zip. There it is. Let's extract that because it's zipped at the moment. Extract, and we'll put it in C drive XAMPP example. We'll have to move it from there, but I'll just extract it first. That will take 5 or 10 seconds. It's not very big, surprisingly. Okay, kill that, and we'll go back to C drive XAMPP and example, and there's WordPress there. I don't want it there. Everything needs to be in htdocs. So I'll open it and I'll copy the content out of there, or cut it, in fact. Cut it from there, go back to htdocs, paste it in there. So this will override the existing index.php there with the new one, which is the WordPress installer. Paste. So overwrite all. So they all go in there. There's those new folders. I should still have an empty WordPress folder one level up, so I need to get rid of that. Yep. Let's delete that just to be tidy. Yes. So go back to htdocs, and there's everything there. Yep. Index.php is the file that we'll need. So now if we go back to the localhost and just put localhost in, should fire up the WordPress installer. Localhost. There doesn't seem to be a WordPress config.php. That's normal. So create that. Yep. So you need to know all the database name, username, password, host, table prefix. Let's go. Okay, database name. I'll call the database. Well, I already called it example, so we have to use that. You use whatever you used in PHP myadmin there when you made a new database there. Username will be root. It's always root for PHP myadmin when you install it through Apache, through XAMPP, sorry. Password is non-existent. Obviously this all needs to be fixed up when it goes on the production site, but for simplicity on the local host, we just use root and no password. Database host is localhost, that's correct, and table prefix, you can't not have a table prefix, so stick with the default one, WP underscore. Submit. Alright, Sparky, you made it through this, blah blah blah, run the install. Okay, information needed, well, we'll call this site example. Username, this is the super user or user one, normally admin for me, but whatever you prefer. Password, something you'll remember, don't confuse this with the database password, this is the WordPress site password, so you're setting this for the first time now. Mine's very weak, thank you. Email, neil@example.com. Privacy, allow search engines to index this site, yes. Install WordPress, and that will do its thing. Don't need the LastPass to save it. I always get this error message, mail to disk.exe. I don't know why. If anybody does, please put it in the comments for me. Continue. Right. Success. WordPress has been installed. Sorry to disappoint. Username admin, password your chosen password, login. So this the default URL to log in on your WordPress site will always be whatever the name of your site is. Presently that's localhost, but that could be example.com/wp-login.php. So always remember that, because that's where you need to go first to log into your site. And it's admin that I used and the password that I used. Login. Okay, so this is the back end of WordPress. You should be familiar with this if you've used it before. Everything's standard. It's a fresh install, so there's nothing weird looking there. And if we want to look at the site, there's the site, visit site. Okay, hello world. So that's all working. You want to put a theme on it and whatever you want to do, but as a fresh, clean install, we've now got that, and that's working on our local machine, Windows 7 machine. We'll do everything on this machine, and then we'll push it to production when everything's 100%